What's going on, ghosties? We are Tales of Spooky Coffee House. Welcome back to our podcast. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. We are your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
Nah, I'm Veronica.
Was that a wake for you?
Bruh.
Is that good?
That shit woke me up. Oh my god. I was like, whoa.
You're like, how?
I should have expected it from you, though. Yeah, I should have. I'm still smoking, so you might hear me smoke in the background. You can let them know.
Ghosties, for those of you that are confused, I'm very tired. It's like way past my bedtime, and Veronica was complaining about how I sounded dead.
Horrible.
So I needed to perk up a little bit, and I think I did a great job.
You did do a good job. I've never heard so much energy like from you before. I don't even know what to do. Like I'm speechless.
You're like, I'm flustered.
I'm flustered. Like, come on, dude. It's the last thing you want to do on a podcast is make your host shut up.
So, do you want to get us started on the true crime topic of the week?
Yeah. So ghosties, my true crime topic of the week, to be honest with you, I don't have a legit title for it. I really don't. I'm gonna have Chelsea help me after this segment come up with the title for y'all to see on like Spotify and YouTube and shit. But I'm talking about criminal David Renz. Now, ghosties, Chelsea, we've talked about many criminals in the past getting away and continuing to do crime when they could have been stopped a long time ago, right? So
yep.
This is just another story of how our justice system is failing us. So have fun. I don't know. Have fun. Yeah. Okay, great. So David Renz, he is from New York. In February 2013, the police conducted a search on David's electronic devices after receiving a tip-off. Trigger warning, please. I will only say this once. But over 11,000 of child pornography videos and images were found on David's electronics and fled, leading police to a manhunt, okay? So this happened after March 14th, 2013, 6 weeks after being arrested. That's when he cut off his ankle monitor and went on a crime spree. So he went to a local mall in New York where he saw Lori Brezinan and her 10-year-old daughter leaving gymnastics. He approached them and threatened them with a fake pistol gun and made them get into their vehicle and drive to a more remote area of the mall. So like just a remote area in the parking where there's not a lot of people. That's where he began to, trigger warning, sexually assault both mom and the daughter by cutting holes in their clothes and SAing them. But when David was focused on the mom began to fight back and she yelled at her daughter to run and get help, which she did. Unfortunately, help did not make it on time and Lori was strangled to death. After a lengthy manhunt, David was found and arrested. I am so sorry, ghosties. I totally missed a big old chunk. A big piece, an important piece of information that I accidentally deleted from my notes. But that big piece of information that I left out, while he was waiting, so when he was arrested after they found the CP in his electronics, he was arrested, but he bonded himself, or bailed himself, not bailed, bonded himself out of...
Bonded, yeah.
Yeah, out of jail, which is when, he cut off his ankle monitor and went to commit this horrible crime, which was the whole point of me talking about this subject, is that why would we let this criminal with so much evidence of CP within his belongings, and allow him to bond? Yeah. Bond himself out of jail. I think the cops or, whoever's in charge of that should not have allowed that. I think that shouldn't even have been an option. And because of that, he was able to flee and, like I said, commit this horrible crime. Like, poor 10-year-old. Like, and she was there to witness it. And not only witness it, but she was a victim herself.
Yeah.
It's just sad. It breaks my heart. It really pissed me off when I came across this story and kind of, wanted to talk to you about like past criminals that have also gotten away with certain things only to commit more horrible crimes. Like, fuck, lock them up and throw away the key. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I feel like it's It's ridiculous how much people get away with.
It is. It's very ridiculous, and I'm actually kind of mad. I'm in a
Yeah.
bad mood now. So I'm hoping you have something more fun to talk about.
Um, yes and no. I have an interesting paranormal topic for us this week. One that doesn't have. It's really weird because as I was looking, like researching, a lot of it is like stories told from generation to generation. So there's not a whole lot of like evidence or a lot of things that you can like fact check. So it's kind of like one of those mysteries where you have to figure out like what you believe, whether it's fiction or fact. So, ghosties, we all know how I am with pronunciations, okay?
Take a shot.
We're traveling to Romania this week, and we're going to talk about the mysteries of the Hoia-Baciu Forest, and I will not be repeating that, okay? I literally had to like, because, usually I can like look up the pronunciations. Yeah, the pronunciations don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, so we're just going to call it the Romanian Forest right now.
In all honesty, like who's gonna know if you said it right or wrong? Like the majority of our listeners will not know. Ghosties, am I right? Like
Listen,
only you know.
I feel like if we ever get like super popular, people are gonna be like, that's not how you say that.
Okay, and we'll say sorry. We're a bit naive. We're learning. You know what I mean? We're fine.
Right.
Everything's gonna be okay.
So this forest is considered to be one of the most haunted places in the world. It's also considered to be Romania's Bermuda Triangle.
Ooh.
Yes. That's kind of what caught my attention originally. That and the pictures of it, because the pictures are like super crazy. I'm going to send it to you in just a minute so you can see. And Ghosties, I will have a picture on Instagram as well.
You know LA has a Bermuda Triangle, right?
Really?
Yep. That's where, if I'm not mistaken, that's where Tupac was killed as well. That same little intersection.
And interesting. That's actually really interesting.
I'll probably talk about it one of these days, but...
Okay, so the most unique thing about this, which I sent it to you, should have the picture, is how the trees are growing. So instead of going straight up like a normal tree, these trees twist and spiral, like almost like they're trying to reach out and touch people. And the most like intriguing thing for me personally is that all the trees turn in a clockwise direction. So they're all doing the same exact thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's cool and it's crazy.
You
and
said you sent me the picture?
Yeah, on Discord.
Ooh, I always see this picture everywhere. That's what it is?
Yeah, that's
nice.
like it's real. Like I always thought that it was like photoshopped or something, but it's not.
Wow.
So they've done extensive research on these trees to see like why they have this particular growth pattern. They still don't have an answer, but the more that we talk about the paranormal and mysteries, just keep in mind that even though they've done extensive research on the trees and can't figure out why they grow in this particular way, they have tested the soil itself, and there have been studies that show that the ground has a higher than normal level of radioactivity in certain parts of it due to the presence of natural uranium, okay?
Natural uranium.
We talked about that. Yeah, we've talked about that before with oh gosh, what is it? It's the one in Japan, Suicide Forest, where there was like, they believe that something in the molten lava is like causing like what is it? Like different types of waves that change our brain patterns and stuff. I cannot think of the word that I want right now, and I don't know. It's because I'm tired.
It's okay.
So the reason why they've tested the soil and they found this out is because they have in the forest what's called a dead zone, and this dead zone is almost a perfect circular area where no vegetation grows at all. So no grass, no trees, no plants, no flowers,
so cool.
no nothing. Despite all of the testing, the only thing they can come up with is the fact that it's the natural uranium, but why is it in a circle? Like why is it just, like that one dead zone area?
Maybe the radius only reaches so far of the natural uranium that's causing the radioactivity.
Yeah, but they've tested like different areas of the soil, like throughout the
And it's
forest, because
all
the forest
active, even
itself.
outside of that circle?
Yeah, so it's 250 hectares. So
What?
how many actually? Yeah, it's so 250 hectares is basically 617 acres.
Wow. That's
Yeah, so
actually
it's a
pretty
big
huge.
forest. Yeah,
You know who's from Romania?
Dracula.
Sebastian Stan.
There's two types of people.
It's been a while since we had one of those. I missed it.
You're like, bitch, no.
I just ignored your fucking answer. I was like, anyways.
Okay, so going back to the dead zone, back on topic. In this dead zone, when they have visitors, some of the things that happen are people come out with unexplained scratches and bruises. They have a strong sense of being watched and they get severe anxiety. So even if you don't have anxiety, you come out with anxiety.
I can handle it. I think I could do it.
You think you can do it?
I mean, I live with anxiety, so I think I could handle a little
I
bit.
know, right?
I think I have it in me to like fight it off for a bit, you know?
A bit, yeah. So I kind of like talked about how like this is considered the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. It's also got a similar story to the lost colony of Roanoke. Nobody really knows like when the stories began happening in this forest, but they do believe that it had something to do with something that happened hundreds of years ago, where there was the disappearance of several hundred peasants from the forest, similar to that of the lost colony of Roanoke. They vanished without a trace, never to be seen again.
I don't know how I feel about people just vanishing.
I know. That's why I feel like I've always been so intrigued by the lost colony, like of Roanoke, because how does that many people just disappear and nobody ever sees them again?
That just opens like my mind to like conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
love it.
Kind of going in the same direction, but not as many people, like not several hundred. Another story, because remember, these are all verbal stories passed down from generations. Another story is that of a young girl who went missing in the forest, who reappeared 5 years later, unchanged, like completely unchanged, and with no memory of her time inside the forest.
Isn't there a story about this guy that he like went missing in one side of the US and then was found like, I don't know, days, weeks, months later, and he had like no memory? No, it wasn't even months. No. He was found like hours later or something like that. And he had like no memory of like the past few hours, but they were questioning like how the fuck does someone go from one side of the US to the other in just hours, you know? Like,
With no, yeah, like they didn't have like any plane registrations on him or anything. Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Do portals exist?
Right. And we're gonna come back to this, okay? Because I have another theory for you. Another instance of a missing person was the tale of a shepherd and his 200 sheep who all vanished without a trace after entering the forest. So they never saw them or the sheep again. And I just like, I think that it's funny because the number 200, we've talked about that before with the demon house where there was like 200 demons, and I just like I don't know why, but that number was just like funny to me.
Yeah, maybe because it's just so over the top.
Right. So the last story that I found of a missing person was that of a woman instead of a young girl. A woman who disappeared with a 15th century coin in her pocket, and she returned a long time later with the same coin, but she looked like no time had passed. Like the same thing with the young girl. Just absolutely unchanged, but no memory.
That is so cool, but I would want to remember, you know?
Right. And that kind of reminds me, have you ever watched the TV show Manifest?
Yeah, I love Manifest.
I feel like that's kind of like what happens.
Yeah.
Where maybe the reason they don't have memory of their time away is because for them it literally was only like a couple of seconds or minutes.
Yeah.
So, going back to the theory that I was telling you, one of the incidents that happened that really like grounded the forest's reputation as a paranormal place was all thanks to the UFO sighting. So, in the 1960s, a biologist, Alexandru Sift, captured photographs of a flying object in the area that looked like a UFO. Many people tried to say that it was, what are those balloons called?
The big ones?
Yeah, we've talked about them before with UFO.
Yeah, when the whole Roswell.
They're like a military balloons or whatever. A lot of people tried to say that was what those were, but they could never prove that it was or wasn't. And so these photos of the UFO is like what really solidified this paranormal aspect of the forest. But it's like, did those people that went missing, were they part of like UFO encounters? Because now we have the government finally admitting to the fact that aliens exist.
So what if, I'm so glad you said that, because I was like trying to I was like, I'm gonna remember this to ask her later on, like, you know, what if aliens are not real but UFOs are, and the government is gaslighting us, telling us, yes, it's aliens exist, when really it's like other countries that are like spying on us? Or nope, I wasn't even gonna go there, but there's time travel too, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's true and what isn't? Like, you know, you just, I don't know.
Me personally, I feel like aliens are real because we cannot be the only species or planet in the entire universe.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, like, are there
what
really?
If they're not on our planet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I do believe they're on our planet. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, what if, you know?
Right. Well, ghosties, there you have it. That was the mysteries of the Romanian forest, whose name I'm not going to try and repronounce.
Oh, well.
But whatever you believe, take it as you will. Like I said, these were a lot of the stories. It's considered one of the most haunted places in the world, and yet all of the stories are like passed through generations. So it's kind of like, it's one of those where a lot of people are going to doubt it because of that reason. But I feel like stories come from truth, as a writer. So like,
yeah,
it's an interesting topic to kind of like debate and go over and think about.
Stories come from truth. I hope that the ghosties forget you said that when they read our Three Stooges and like our other short stories that we are working on.
Ghosties, if you haven't been here this season yet, Veronica and I are working on a short story anthology type book that we're going to be releasing, and some of the stories make us question our own sanity, okay? But none of that is real. Like, it's all
None
fiction.
of it is real, ghosties. None of it.
Yeah.
Okay, some of it.
That's based on people we know, but they didn't do the stuff that we say that they do. Anyways, we're moving on. So kind of going into our coffee break, I have some exciting news. I got a new job.
What is that?
It's a scheduling coordinator, so I'm going to be working with patients and staff to kind of like get everybody's schedules done. But I am super excited. It's a home care center. And I have experience with like scheduling. I don't have a whole lot of experience with home care, at least not professionally. And so I was like really nervous that I wasn't going to get it. But like the instant that I walked in there for my first interview, because I had my second interview today when I got the offer. I was like, as soon as I walked in there, something in my brain was like, this is it. This is your place. So I was like super nervous. Yeah, like the vibe and the people is just really nice. So I was super excited to get offered the position.
I love that for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have nothing to talk about.
You have nothing to talk about today?
No.
Do you want me to talk about the hot nurse when I had to go get...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do tell that story.
No, I'm good. I was just joking.
So Chelsea had to get a physical today, and they were taking her blood pressure, and the first time around it came like really really high, to the point where like the doctor was like, nah, we're gonna do the other arm. That's cause for panic.
It was a
you know.
malfunction. It was a malfunction.
So then they redo it, and apparently the nurse that was doing it was super hot. He was like Chelsea's type. He had his ears stretched. Did he have tattoos? Did you say tattoos? His cups were her favorite bands were on the cups, like custom made, whatever. And then so he starts taking the blood pressure, and he was like, "What? Okay, you tell it now."
Because he was talking to me beforehand, and he was
I'm bad at telling stories.
He was talking to me beforehand, and he's like, "I'm gonna stop talking to you because that might lower your blood pressure." And I was so exhausted after the day, because I was stressed all day, that I literally didn't think before I speak. And ghosties, if you've been here for a while, you know that's very common with me. Mm-hmm. And so I just was like, very casually, "What, you think that you're so good looking that you're making my blood pressure rise?"
The balls on this woman, I swear.
When I tell you that I know my face was red, I was like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "No, don't be." He's like, "Thank you."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh my God." I've never been so secondhand embarrassed by my own self.
But he was hot though, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, dude, he was fucking hot as shit. Like, oh.
Dude, imagine if like Pedro Pascal was my nurse one day.
I think your blood pressure would be enough to call an ambulance.
I would. No, I'm saying if he was my nurse.
Yeah, they would probably call an ambulance, because the nurse is the
Why
one
would
that
they
does your
call
blood
an
pressure.
ambulance if I'm at the hospital or the doctor's?
Okay, well, see, like, I was at the doctor's office within the hospital, was like across the street, and so legally they have to call an ambulance to take me across the street. So, but anyways, that's where my head was. Moving on. This episode is a mess.
I don't know if I'm like too stoned right now to understand what you just said, or if you really just made no sense. So
it's okay. It's probably both.
Moving on to our tarot card of the week segment. Chelsea, what card did you pull?
I pulled the Wheel of Fortune.
Better than what you pulled last week.
No, dude, you have no idea how relieved I was when I was like, "Oh, thank God it wasn't the Tower again."
Oh no, if it was again, I'd be really scared.
I know, right? Because the Wheel of Fortune is actually quite the opposite of the Tower. The Tower represented like chaos and destruction, and the Wheel of Fortune represents like good luck, destiny, and karma. And remember, ghosties, karma can be good or bad depending on what you've been doing.
Just be a good person. It's not that hard.
Exactly. So it also signifies like change in the cycle of life, because it's the wheel. And so even though it may feel hard at times, the universe is working to help us achieve our goals. And so when this card appears in a reading, it's really like the turning point in your life. And I feel like that's very accurate, not just for me personally, but a couple other people that I know. So I feel like because we had talked about earlier in the season how certain zodiac signs right now are like gonna be having the best of luck in the next 20 years or so. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like that's like starting to finally hit all of us at the same time.
My brain is like not braining. Like I know what I want to say, and then my brain can't think of the word. Like I'm struggling.
That's your karma for smoking way too much before we started recording.
The audacity. Oh my God.
My balls are made of steel today, apparently.
Moving on. The card I pulled was Seven of Wands, and I like this because it's kind of calling us all out, but in a good way. So this card says, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Said Wayne Gretzky, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna add that on my list of tattoos to get. This is about going after what you want, playing both offense and defense. You've gotten this far on your own, and now it's about sustaining your success and maintaining your reputation. You may be clouded with thoughts like, am I good enough to be here? and experiencing imposter syndrome. Stop it. Remember who you are, review all your precious accomplishments, and know that you got to where you are for a reason. Oh my god, I literally just gave this advice to a friend of mine. Fight with integrity and honor when you face your challenges. Stand your ground when necessary and don't back down. Persevere through the challenge like you have in the past. Not everybody will like you, but they will respect you for standing up for yourself. So
Be assertive.
I'm not gonna name the person, but they'll know who they are because I might send them this. Her mom just had surgery, and she's pretty much on hospice. And she did well on her surgery because they said it was like a 50-50, and that's scary news. And she's her caregiver. She said pretty much, I'm sad. And I said, listen, it's okay to be sad. Like, your feelings are fucking valid. This is a horrible reality,
Yeah.
But one day you're going to look back and you're going to appreciate yourself for being there for your mom during this hard time. You know what I mean? One day you're going to look back and smile at the battles you kept winning one after another during these hard times. And it's like, it sucks. I'm sorry, like, we can't change anything, but dude, just appreciate the moment, because you just take her in, pretty much. Take in your mom, take in her love, her hugs, hold her hand, make her smile, dance for her, like, you know what I mean? Like,
appreciate the time that you have left.
Because that's gonna mean so much in the future. You know what I mean? So just know that even though it's a hard time, you're gonna get through it, even if it doesn't seem like you are. And I'm just so excited for all of you to, like, look back at yourselves and just be like, fuck, I got through it. Like, if you're going through a hard time right now, I'm rooting for you and I'm excited for you. Yeah. It just got deep. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But
the mood on this podcast has been so up and down.
It seriously has. Oh, this is like our period episode, like
we
we're
cannot
PMSing.
record this late again.
I mean, it's fun. So, ghosties, take that as you will. Chelsea, any more comments on our cards?
Comments, concerns? No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I don't know how to feel. Like, do I feel inspired? Do I feel sad and want to, like, give my friend a hug? Do I like, I'm thinking about past me too. Like, thank you for not giving up. Like, how beautiful is life now? Like, yes, it's shitty in a way. Like, it has its shitty moments and stuff, but I've been waking up with a smile on my face. Yeah. Like, that's different, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't stayed strong during my toughest times. So, yeah. I don't know, guys. Just hang in there. Hang in there, please. The only way
to really overcome a challenge is just to be assertive and stand up for yourself. Like, you're gonna make it through, so just keep that in mind.
And that's what Seven of Wands is saying too. Like, stand your ground,
And on that note, oh my god, I can't even talk. Thank you so much for joining us this week, ghosties. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode as much as we did. If so, please be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. We are your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Veronica.
And we hope you have a spooky weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.